Hi everyone, welcome to Power Flow today. My name is Kayla. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We are up and running. Today you're gonna need a water bottle, some small free weights, 5 pounds or lighter, a yoga strap, and a yoga block. Once you've gathered those things, let's go ahead and meet on our mat, and we're gonna be in Savasana bent leg pose for our start. You can plant your feet down into the mat just below your hip bones, allowing your head, your neck, your spine to rest on the mat. Take a moment for your hands to come down by your hips. Open them up to the ceiling. And just take a few breaths here before we start flowing. Inhaling fully. And exhaling completely. Let's take 2 more full cycles of breath here. Last breath, just getting really grounded in today's practice. Beautiful. And on the end of your next exhale, go ahead and grab your yoga block. We're gonna set up for bridge posture. You can either use the block under your hips for an assisted bridge or between your knees for a little added tension. And inhale, lift your bridge, pull your hips up towards the ceiling, press into the heels of your feet, and hold for 2 cycles of breath. Really grounding down into the heels of your feet and your shoulder blades. Finish out that last cycle of breath and release your hips back down to the mat. Let's do 1 more bridge today as we're warming up. Taking whatever variation feels good for your body. Inhaling and lifting. We'll be here for 2 full breaths. One more full breath here. Release your hips back down to the mat. Come through a seated position, planting your hands and coming onto your knees for a tabletop. And we're just gonna cycle through a few balancing tabletops here. So take your right hand and your left leg out long. Inhaling, lifting up off the mat. And exhaling, coming back down to touch the mat. Let's do 3 more of these, moving with your breath. Inhaling, lifting. And releasing, touching the mat. 2 more. Noticing how that small back bend feels in your lower back, your upper back. Last lift and release here. And come back through that neutral spine, both hands planted. And let's switch to the other side. Left hand out long, right leg out long. Inhaling, lifting. And exhale, release. We'll balance our sides out and do 3 on this side to your breath. Two more. Last one here. Coming back through that neutral spine. And let's just take a few cat-cows here. Again, we're warming up for this power flow today. Inhaling for cow, lifting your head, dropping your belly. And exhaling, rounding your back, your spine into cat. 2 more of these. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. Last one. I encourage you to really find movement today with your breath. Release to cat. back to a neutral spine. Step both of your feet back for plank pose. We're gonna hold this for 3 full cycles of breath. Inhale, tap your right leg out to the right side of your mat. Exhale, bring it back. Inhale, tap your left foot out. Exhale, bring it back to center. Inhale, tap your right leg out. And release, bringing that foot back to center. Let's do one more breath to even our sides out. Inhaling, tapping the left foot over. Exhaling, bringing it back to center. And lowering your body all the way down to your mat. Press into all 4 corners of both hands. For a small back bend here, a cobra pose. And release your right cheek down to the mat. Take one restful breath here. Inhale, press back up into that cobra pose. And exhale, release your left cheek down to the mat. Take a restful breath here. And set up on your next inhale to press up into downward facing dog. The first one of today's flow. Take a little bit of organic movement, pedaling your feet out, coming up to the tips of your toes, falling back down to all 4 corners of your feet on the mat. And breathing. Take 2 full cycles of breath in this downward facing dog. Inhaling, filling your body energetically with positivity. And exhaling, releasing all the tension that's built up over the day, over the week, over the last hour. One more full breath. Release. At the end of your breath, find a bend in your knees, come to a hover over your mat, and step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Finding a flat spine. Stay here for 1 breath. And notice the release of that lower back, the tension with this posture. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, come to chair pose, bringing your hands up above your head. Inhaling, elongating your spine. And exhaling, sitting 1 inch deeper into your chair today. Heel toe your feet just to be about hip width distance apart. Letting your toes fall in closer together than your heels. And exhale. We're gonna come to a low chair, resting our sit bones right on the backs of our ankles. We'll be here for 2 breaths. I encourage you to focus in where you feel stable and strong. Or notice where your practice maybe needs a little bit more practice. And acknowledge yourself and thank yourself for showing up and being here to practice today. Inhale, come back to a normal or full expression of chair pose. And exhale, release, come to a standing position. We're gonna flow right into tree posture today, setting up grounding down in our left foot. Option to kickstand your right foot, plant it on the left calf, or bring it all the way up onto the left thigh. Regardless of that variation, just not on the knee. Once you have your roots strongly founded into your mat, go ahead and grow your branches. Option here today to grow them all the way up and open above your head. Option for cactus arms. Or bring your hands to a prayer posture. Grow your tree to whatever variation feels good for your body today. And let's take 2 full breaths in your tree. And release. We'll do tree on the other side, grounding down into our right foot. Same options as the other side. Take your variation, go there, grow your roots, grow your branches, and find some stability and stillness just for 2 cycles of breath here. And if it's a little windy for your tree and you fall out, that's okay. Get right back in it. Last full breath. Release. Inhale your hands up above your head. Exhale for chair posture. And as you exhale and sit into your chair, bring your hands to a prayer pose. Let's take 1 more full cycle of breath, inhaling together. And exhale, twist to your right, allowing your left elbow to hook onto the outside of your right thigh for a revolved chair today. Inhaling, letting your hips sit 1 inch deeper, closer to your mat. And exhale, pressing into your prayer hands, pressing your left elbow into your right thigh as much as your right thigh presses into your right elbow, creating a deeper twist. And release, come back through center. And exhale, twist to the other side, hooking that elbow onto the outside of the thigh, pressing for a deep twist. Hold for 2 breaths. Inhaling completely and fully. And exhaling completely and fully. And release. Come to forward fold. Let's do a fingers to toes forward fold. You can heel toe your feet out to hip width distance apart. And take your peace fingers and interlace them with each big toe. And use your upper body to pull your upper torso down towards the mat and press into your heels to push your hips up towards the ceiling. And just be here, present in this posture for 2 full cycles of your breath. Allow your head to hang heavy. Pull your shoulders away from your ears if they sink down. Finish off your last breath. And release. Inhaling for halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up for a standing posture, and we're gonna step it back for crescent lunge. Let's start planted and grounded down into our left foot. Step your right foot back. Align the ball of your heel directly on top of the ball of your foot. Bring your hands up above your head. Bring your gaze to follow your fingertips. Inhale, reaching for the ceiling. And exhale, sit 1 inch deeper in that front leg that is bent. And breathe. 1 full inhale. Bring your hands behind your back and fold your upper body over that bent leg for humble warrior. And let's stay here for 2 full breaths. Inhaling fully. Exhale, releasing. And inhaling, rising back up to that crescent lunge. And then stepping your feet back to meet each other. Take a little time to shake it out. This time, ground down, plant into your right foot. And we're gonna step our left foot back for crescent lunge. Zipping up that left quad, pulling the back of your left calf and quad up towards the ceiling, creating a straight leg. And then finding a 90-degree bend in that front right leg. And breathing, inhaling, being long, exhaling, sitting in your strength, your stability. One more full inhale. And exhale, forward fold for humble warrior. We'll be here for 2 breaths. Letting your belly make complete contact with your right thigh. And inhale, rise up again for that crescent lunge. Finding your stability in this posture, getting grounded, and releasing, coming back to step to meet your other foot. And inhale, your hands up above your head. Exhale, release for a swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's take a flow, a chaturanga. Moving with your breath. High plank to low plank. Inhaling to upward facing dog. And exhaling, releasing into downward facing dog. Take a restful breath here. And find a small bend in your legs. Travel to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise for a standing mountain posture. And we're gonna set up for an airplane posture. Go ahead, ground down in your left foot. We're gonna lift our right foot up, kick that right foot back, and tilt our upper body to be, our upper body and our right leg should be parallel with the ground. Bringing our hands by our hips, finding a small back bend. Breathe. One more full inhale. And release, planting that right foot, bringing your hands up above your head for warrior one. Take one full cycle of breath here. And exhale, open to warrior two, tilting your hips to the side of the wall instead of the front of the mat. Allowing your hands to come to reach to either side of the room on each short end of your mat. Inhale, stretch your fingertips as far apart from each other as you can. Exhale, sit 1 inch deeper in that front leg. And on your next inhale, reverse your warrior. Take one more breath in this reverse warrior. And inhale back up to warrior two. We're just gonna come out of this. Exhaling, releasing. Inhaling, pivoting to warrior one. And here's the tricky part. You're gonna, on your next inhale, pivot from your warrior one into your airplane, pressing up and finding strength in that left leg that's planted. And release, come back to a standing posture. And we're gonna balance our sides out and do the same thing on the other side. So get grounded, rooted down into that right foot this time. Get ready to lift your left leg up. And on your next inhale, go ahead, kick your leg back, bring your hands out, airplane. Finding yourself parallel, one parallel line with the ground, your upper body, your left leg. And breathe. One more breath here. You're so strong. And release, planting that back foot. And lifting your arms for a warrior one. Take 2 gentle breaths here, fully inhaling. And fully exhaling, feeling that deep stretch up the back of your left leg. And open up for warrior two. Inhaling, feeling the stretch as you reach all of your fingertips to opposing sides of the room. And exhaling, sitting 1 inch deeper into that bent leg. And reverse your warrior. Allow your gaze to follow your right fingertips behind you. And inhale, come back to warrior one. Again, we're just gonna get out of this posture. Take a breath in warrior two. And pivot everything to warrior one. Bring your hands down to your side and press up out of that left foot into airplane, grounding down, relying heavily on your right leg for your balance, your stability. Bring your gaze to one point in the room on the floor that's not moving. And exhale, release, come back to a standing posture. Inhale. Bringing your hands just to a prayer posture here. Exhale, we're gonna, step our right foot back this time. And we're gonna open up for extended side angle, allowing our left arm to make contact with our left leg, opening our right side up towards the ceiling. And we'll be here for 2 breaths. One more full inhale. And full exhale. This is a great place for a block. We're gonna transition, kicking up off of our right leg into a half moon posture. Your hand can either come make contact with the floor or the block. And remember, there's 3 different heights on a block. You can go this way, or this way, making this a really great tool as you progress and make your way towards making contact with the floor. Exhale, release, bring your feet back to touch, forward fold. Take a breath here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come back to a standing posture. We're gonna balance our sides out again. So let's ground down into your right foot. Prayer hands, we're gonna step your left foot back. And we're gonna do extended side angle on the right side, bringing your right elbow to make contact with your right leg. And opening up your left side of your body, bringing your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And pressing into your thigh as much as your thigh presses into your right elbow. To give yourself some leverage and twist a little bit deeper. Take one more breath here. And release, get your block ready, and press up into half moon. Take your variation. Your hand can make contact with the ground or a block. Go there, be here for 2 full breaths. If you fall out, that is okay. As per usual, yoga is a practice, not a perfect. So have fun, play, and practice. And exhale, release, allowing your feet to come to meet again. And take a breath in this forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, come to a standing posture. We're gonna grab our weights. We're actually gonna set up for a goddess squat or goddess pose. And we're gonna do some squats while we lift. So for goddess pose, we want our big toes pointed slightly out or to the corners, the top corners of your mat, and let your heels point in towards your body. How we're gonna do these squats, with our inhales, we're gonna rise. With our exhales, we're gonna squat into goddess. Inhale, rising. We're gonna do 10 of these today. Exhale, squat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, squat. Move with your breath for the next 6. Challenge yourself on your next exhale. Go 1 inch deeper into your goddess posture. Four more. Last 2. You've got this. Last one. Here you go. You are so strong. Let's hold this one for 2 breaths. And release, come back to standing. Heel toe your feet back to a meeting position. Inhale, raise your arms and your weights up to the sky. Exhale, release, forward fold. Option to set your weights down, or you can use them as you flow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take your flow, chaturanga, high to low plank, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. And roll forward. Option to come onto your knees or stay lifted onto your legs for a high plank. And we're gonna rotate over for a side plank, planting your left arm, your left leg, and grabbing a weight with your right hand. Let's be here for 3 breaths. And release, bringing your weight down to the mat, coming through center, high plank, and revolving, opening up, planting your right arm, your right leg, and bringing your left hand with the weight up to the sky. And release, coming back through center, that high plank, planting your knees, pressing back down for a child's pose here. A little rest for your low back. Take one more breath. And inhale up to tabletop. Cross your legs and come through a seated posture. And we're gonna do a little bit of core work for our last few minutes today. We've got just about, let's see, I think 7 minutes left. Sorry, with technical issues, I didn't get a timer up. So I'll just keep you posted. We're gonna do a floor bow pose, a boat pose, where you can leave your feet planted on the mat, option to kick your feet up, option to straighten your knees for straight legs. But either way, our focus today is gonna be on arms. So bring your legs to the variation that you would like. I'm just gonna go like this today with a slight bend in my knee, a V in my body, my upper body to my lower body. And we're gonna do chest flies with our arms today. So for 3 breaths, inhaling arms out, exhaling your arms back in. Inhaling your arms out, exhaling your arms back in. Inhale your arms out. Last one. And plant your legs. Give yourself a little hug, a release in that low back. And we're gonna go ahead, lower our upper body all the way down to the mat for a little bit of release. We're gonna do a seated eagle today, bringing our right calf to rest, right calf or shin to rest on our left thigh. Option to stay right here, or take your hands and grab the back of your left thigh and squeeze it, pull it in towards your chest, creating a deep stretch into that right hip. Let's be here for 2 full cycles of breath. And if your shoulders creeped up towards your ears, just peel them back. And release, allowing your feet to meet again at the bottom of your mat. Bringing your left calf or shin to meet your right thigh. Take whatever variation of this seated twist, deep stretch feels good for you. Pulling your right knee in towards your chest to deepen that left hip stretch. Or staying with your foot planted, whatever feels good for your body today. One more round of breath here. And release, allowing your feet to meet again at the base of your mat. And let's set up for Supta Baddha Konasana, bringing the soles of your feet to touch, letting your knees fall out wide, allowing one hand to meet your belly and one hand to meet your chest. Let's just take 3 cycles of breath here. We're cooling down after our flow, letting our body recover and rest. We have a few more postures. Slowing down and deepening our stretches. One more full round of breath. Let's set up for sleeping swan. So come all the way up through a seated posture. We're gonna kick our left leg out long. Bring our right knee out to the side at a bent angle. And we're gonna bring our upper body, option to come down to a block or all the way down to the mat. Just allowing a small hip opener on the right side. Sleeping Swan. We'll do 3 to 4 rounds of breath here. Noticing that as we close out our flow today, it's okay that breaths become a little less intentional, more organic. Allowing our body to feel fully supported by the earth beneath us. One more full breath here. And gently press up out of Sleeping Swan posture. And just set up for Sleeping Swan on the other side. Kick your right leg out long. Bring your left knee out to the left side. And then take whatever variation of your upper body felt good for you today. Coming to a block, coming to your forearms, or coming all the way down to the mat. And we'll do a few breaths here. I encourage you to acknowledge spaces that you can release tension with each exhale. One more full breath here. And once again, gently pressing up out of your Sleeping Swan posture. And coming through a seated position. All the way back down. We're gonna do fish pose. Propping up on your elbows. Your elbows should be directly below your shoulders. Just like you're sitting at the beach, people watching. We're gonna point your toes like you're trying to point at something in front of you. And leave your foot like that and only move your toe almost like a Barbie foot or like you're in a stiletto. This is the correct posture for fish pose. Once you've got your feet there, you're activating your thighs, your calves, you're supporting your upper body on your elbows. Allow your head to fall back. And just sit in this heart opener for a few breaths. Reversing some of our normal postures throughout the day when we're crunched over looking at a computer or a phone or a project. Just really surrendering to this posture and allowing our neck, our heart, our chest to open in ways that we don't always choose to open during the day. And release, lifting your head, gently coming down to your mat. We'll just do one final resting Shavasana just for a few breaths. Bringing your hands down by your hips. Allowing your palms to face up towards the ceiling. Just to receive the positivity of your flow today. And just take a few breaths. When you feel ready, go ahead. Find some small movement back in your body, wiggling your toes and fingers, rolling out your wrists and rolling out your ankles. And ever so gently, find yourself back into an easy seated posture. Inhaling your hands to your heart in a prayer posture. Just taking a moment again to gently release from our flow today. Thanks for joining as always. It's an honor and a joy. Let's together bring our hands to our third eye center. The light in me honors and adores the light in you. Together we can bow and say namaste. To close our practice today, thank you so much for joining Power Flow. Thanks for putting up with our technical difficulties at the beginning. As always, please provide feedback, things that you would like to see in the future. If you're up for it, join for meditations that I also teach. And if not, we'll see you next week for Power Flow. Thanks so much.